Hi everyone, this is Tanya with Moonlight Pathways, and today I want to tell you a little bit about my journey as far as my journey with my autoimmune disorder. Many years ago, I fell down about 13 steps on my back flat. I had black eyes, I had fractures in my back and everything, and it took me quite a long time to get healed back from that. There were actually several months that if you touched my back, even after I'd physically healed, but if you touched my back, I would start crying because it was so sensitive to touch, to pain, to anything. I was very hypersensitive at that point. With a lot of therapy, a lot of desensitization and things like that, that 99% of the time has gone away. But after that, I also developed the autoimmune disorder. The first rheumatologist diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, and the next one's diagnosed me with something else. But anyway, it all boils down to the same thing. With the autoimmune disorder, for me, I have constant pain. I mean, even if I tell you I'm not really hurting, I'm still in pain, but it's tolerable and it doesn't bother me, if that makes any sense. And if you're dealing with something like this, you know exactly what I mean. But the first rheumatologist put me on this drug called Neurontin. I don't know if anyone's ever been on it. I feel for anybody that has to take it because the reactions I had, I would completely lose track of time, forget what I was doing, be in the middle of a conversation with somebody and completely forget what we're talking about. I would drive home, not remember driving home. And I decided I can't live like this. I mean, I'm going to wind up wrecking or killing somebody and not even knowing it, simply to not have quite as much pain. And it barely relieved any of the pain that I was having. So one thing I did find was actually the CBD oil. And I know a lot of people are very skeptical about it and everything, but this has no THC in it. So there's never any chance of testing positive for anything because it is just the actual oil that has all the medicinal properties. I put 3 drops of this under my tongue every morning. I don't take a prescription medicine for my autoimmune disorder anymore. Haven't for many years. But I can sure tell you, days I don't take this, it is hard for me to even function because I'm having so much pain and just my body just seems to want to contract and not do anything. There were times I couldn't even go to my family's for any events because I couldn't stand the drive. They live 3 to 4 hours away. You know, this past week we did 2 trips and I drove probably 60 to 70% of that time. My wife drove the rest of the time. I was able to tolerate it. Still, you know, little time to recuperate and everything. But what I do if I have a flare-up is actually put 3 more drops under my tongue. Still don't take any prescription medicine. It helps to relieve that pain. And when I first started taking it, it's not this dramatic thing that happens. For me, it wasn't anyway. I first started taking it, didn't really feel like it was doing anything, so I stopped for a day or 2. Oh my goodness, I could not get out of bed. So I'm like, yeah, this has to be doing something. And anytime you can do something that's more natural, it's not as harmful to your body, and you're not putting all these toxins and stuff in your body then. You know, this is something that is completely all natural and organic that I use every single day, rather than putting that chemical and poison in my body that a lot of times you have to take another medicine for to control the side effects of that medicine. Always talk to your doctor about anything that you're doing, which is one thing I did with my family physician, the rheumatologist I'm seeing now. And the rheumatologist I'm seeing now, he absolutely loves that I'm taking this. He actually recommends customers to me because of this. But I just wanted to share a little bit about my journey. And no, I'm not saying I'm completely pain-free. There are days I have bad flare-ups. Yesterday was pretty rough, but it was the combination of all the driving and then also the weather change. And if you have issues with any type of disease that weather change affects you, going from hot to cold sometimes for me is like your muscles just want to contract and you can't move them sometimes. And I wish they would come up with a cure for some of these things. It'd be wonderful. But until they do, I will continue with my CBD oil, and I encourage anyone to search out those alternative methods of helping with a disease or a problem that you're having. You know, the doctors, they're great, and 99% of them are absolutely wonderful, there to help their patients. But a pill is not always the answer. Sometimes a change in your diet can help too. I know with me, if I eat certain foods, it triggers my autoimmune disorder to kick in too. So everyone have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you soon. Bye.